What's up, everybody? Serious. I'm going to get serious here for a minute. I'm going to do this video a little bit serious, a little bit. Um, I think the possibility of a recession now is very high. Now, you're not going to hear this from anyone else, just like my bullish calls earlier this year. There really wasn't anyone else out there making those bullish calls, but I was there consistently throughout this entire year until very recently. And what I look at, it's the MMT perspective, it's looking at the fiscal flows, it's looking at bank credit, all these things. And through the understanding of MMT, that's what allowed me to stay bullish. And let's face it, a lot of people were really, really bearish, and we heard all these calls for another crash, just like 2008, but it never happened. And we heard it with Brexit, we heard it with everything, and even leading up to the election, we heard it from people who had that view about Trump. If he was elected, that it would be a disaster, and then everything flipped around. Okay, we know the story, we see the story, but here's why I think the possibility of a recession. You don't hear anyone talking about recession right now. Nobody. In fact, I bet if you even mention that, you would be laughed at. You would be absolutely laughed at. By the way, you can go back and look at some of my videos, and certainly on my blog, Mike Norman Economics. I predicted Dow 20,000 by the end of this year, so we're pretty much there. But here's why I think the chances of a recession are the highest now that it has been in a year, and probably the highest that it has been in several years. First of all, as you know, and as I have been saying, the fiscal flows are weak. We are negative year over year, and at best, it's struggling to stay even with last year. But right now, we are negative. Not huge, but we are negative, okay? The continuing resolution that was passed last week by Congress, that freezes spending at 2016 levels. So it's not going to get any better than this, okay? At least up through April 28th of next year, because the CR is through April 28th of next year, all right? We have a $9 billion increase in that continuing resolution, but if you work the numbers, that comes out to about $37.5 million per day of additional spending. In federal government spending terms, that's like a drop in the bucket. That's nothing. I mean, right now we're averaging about $9.5 billion per day. So what? Now it's $9.54 billion per day. I mean, it really changes nothing. So the fiscal flows are bad. The bank credit, loans and leases at commercial bank, total bank credit, which is, I guess, you could call that the broadest form of lending. All that stuff is decelerating. That's total loans and leases now growing at the slowest rate in 2 years. Bank credit growing at the slowest rate in 7 months. All right. What else? You have the strong dollar and strong oil prices. Now, both of those things are going to work in unison to make the trade deficit go up. Now, for me, a trade deficit is no big deal. I mean, it's looked at in a really dumb way. People think the trade deficit is bad, but we get the goods, they get the paper money. It's a benefit for us, but it's not viewed that way. And more importantly, the trade deficit is the way GDP is calculated, the trade deficit is a subtraction from GDP. So when the dollar's going up and when oil prices go up, because we import a lot of oil, the trade deficit goes up. And that means the subtraction from GDP will be that much larger. Okay, so if they're looking at 2.5% growth in the fourth quarter, I don't think we're going to get there. I think we're going to have a much weaker fourth quarter. All right, so that's another thing. What else? Then there is the Fed rate hike that's coming, which to me is totally ironic that it is happening right now, and it's just typical, and it really speaks to, I think, the ineptness of the Yellen Fed. They had all year to raise rates when the economy was gaining momentum, and they didn't do it. They stuck there. Well, let's see some more. Now they're going to do it at exactly the time when I think economic growth is peaking out. All right. So if they had done it earlier this year, it would have given time for the markets to digest that. And also it would have given time for those additional income flows. Remember, rate hikes equate to a fiscal expansion. It would have given more time for that fiscal expansion to work into the economy and have that income felt. Okay, now they're doing it at a time when I think economic growth is peaking out. So you have all that stuff. Then you had this huge stock market rally basically on nothing, on sheer expectation. And a lot of these buyers now are people who originally thought that Trump was going to be terrible. I gave the example of Mark Cuban, okay? I wrote that in the MMT Trader Report. I did a video about that last week. And he's like the poster boy of these people. I'm putting on the biggest short hedge of my life. He's going to be terrible. He's going to cause a recession. And then last week he's like, he's our #1 draft pick. I mean, these people are unbelievable. So you have a lot of that going on. The sentiment is bullish. I've been all over that all year. It was bearish. Now it's bullish. If you look at surveys like AAII weekly survey and other things, if you look at open interest, if you look at Google search terms, you search stocks and the interest there, all kinds of stuff. So that's the reason why I am #1. I'm short the S&Ps. It's against me. Yes, I have an open loss. But again, I do not concern myself with fluctuations in between the time I put it on and the time I take it off. I will take that off as a profit. I am raising cash right now. Today I sent out an update to MMT Trader subscribers listing 2 more stocks that we are taking profits in. Okay, every single closed out position, need I say this again, has been a profit. So you heard it here. I am predicting a recession, or at least I'm saying that there is a high possibility of a recession. I'm saying the rally is on shaky ground. I'm saying there's no real justification for the magnitude of this rise has been really phenomenal, and it's just relentless. It keeps going, but it's a setup. I'm telling you, it's a setup. You'll all be coming back here to me saying, how the heck did Mike Norman figure that out? Well, I always figure it out. It is a setup. All right, just wanted to put that out there. See you guys later. Bye-bye.